Could this be the best card in Australian MMA history? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. Fighting out of the red corner from HBF Stadium Festival Hall, Melbourne Pavilion.
Not even backstage, we're literally outside.
Was that the best fight card in Australian MMA history?
Call me crazy, but make sure you call me when I'm right.
Rod Costa versus Justin Van Heerden could just make this card the best in Australian MMA history. My name is Mitchell Tinley and welcome to the Australian MMA podcast. We'll be quick. There is one huge fight that recently just got announced. Rod Costa versus Justin Van Heerden. The trilogy, which you never see in Australian MMA. We've talked before about not even seeing rematches. To see rematches is incredible. You do not get this once in a good old decade opportunity, I'm going to say. If you know, let me know in the comments. Australian MMA _ on YouTube or on Instagram. I do not remember the last time I saw a trilogy in Australian MMA, but Rod Costa will be taking on Justin Van Heerden, Eternal MMA 87, August 17th, UFC weekend at featherweight. Let's break it down. But first, a word from our new sponsor. Fuel the fight with Australian-made MMA-inspired streetwear and support the next generation of MMA superstars. Delivering unprecedented support to the Aussie MMA scene, support PRP Global on their journey. 100% of profits go to the fighters. Check PRP Global out today. This fight is going to be one of the most intriguing matchups, I truly do believe, on Eternal MMA 87. It's very interesting because, here at Australian MMA, I love storylines, and that is what we have. We have the perfect timing for this fight. Two of the best fighters in Australia, two of the most active fighters there have ever been in Australian MMA, meeting finally where they first met in Eternal, and it's going to be great. We'll go into both the stories very soon. But a nice little tidbit, a nice little trailer, if you will, a breadcrumb for listening, even just this far. Tomorrow, as of recording, it is Wednesday, the 3rd of July, just over a month out from UFC weekend and, of course, Eternal MMA 87. But tomorrow, the 4th of July, Thursday, we will have Rod Costa and Justin Van Heerden, both former Eternal MMA champions and other champions through many other promotions. They will meet face-to-face here on Australian MMA on Zoom in a special split interview. So we're going to get both the men's thoughts, and they have, look, I don't know how it's going to go. They could be respectful as ever. There could be mad amount of shit talk because pound for pound, those boys are two of the best shit talkers there ever was in Australian MMA. So keep checking back. I'm going to get it out 6 p.m. At least Australian Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, the 4th of July. So keep checking back to Australian MMA. Turn the notifications on, subscribe, jump on the Instagram page because it will be so interesting. You send me your questions too. I'll make sure I get those to the boys. Now, with that out of the way, I think it's very intriguing, this matchup, because they've met twice before, okay? They're two of the best grapplers Australian MMA has seen in quite some time, and it is very uncharacteristic how they fight each other, because both men, as good as grapplers as they are, have knockout victories over each other. That is right. That is like going to KFC and buying a beef burger. You're surprised, but not disappointed. And that's what I love about this. Both men have done very little grappling against each other, despite being so highly regarded. We even had the unofficial nickname of Kickboxer Rod Costa. He's very underrated on the feet, Mr. Costa. But if you don't know, he's medaled at Worlds in Jiu-Jitsu, so he is as good as they come. He, of course, beat Justin, I think it was 2021, in their first meeting, and that knockout sent Justin Van Heerden on an absolute tear to where we saw him basically become the number one pound-for-pound fighter, easily the number one featherweight in the country before he met none other than George Mangos very recently. But both men have gone on to hold titles since then, and Rod Costa was on a quest to become double champion because he picked up the bantamweight title quite easily for Eternal MMA and tried to sort of hold two belts by taking on Justin Van Heerden, unfortunately getting knocked out in 2023 and kind of sending him back to the bantamweight division, which he basically ran through for a little while, until his controversial loss to Kuya Ito at Eternal MMA 85 in Perth. The Japanese might be the first international based to hold an Eternal MMA title, but we thought we were going to see a rematch there, but it did not happen. I actually like this matchup a hell of a lot better because as much as I love Rod Costa, I love his style, I love his skill, speaking as a whole for the casual fan, if you will, that fight against Kuya Ito was not the most exciting. It was like a nice gift, but it was wrapped in a paper bag. So not too many people saw the beauty, if you will. But with that out the way, I don't mind seeing a rematch because if you're listening to me now and you saw Eternal MMA 85, remember you can check it out, UFC Fight Pass. I think it was a decent fight in terms of, like, if you want to look at the intricacies of MMA, it was not exciting one bit. But I really think Rod Costa won. But regardless, I'm glad that we're not seeing a rematch just because I think it's time to sort of focus on some other things. And Justin Van Heerden, who was top of the top in Australian MMA, met a man that might just be top of the top in MMA just in general one day in George Mangos. And apparently Van Heerden allergic to mangoes because he, unfortunately, despite kind of dominating in the grappling like we mentioned earlier, he got caught with a beautiful flying triangle, bringing a whole new meaning to lockjaw. And unfortunately, Justin Van Heerden tapped out, lost his hex belt. So his little sort of deviation, he's always been an eternal boy, and it's like he went off to college, learned some stuff, and now he's returned home. So Eternal would be stoked with that, and it's good to see that there was no bridges burned, which I think is how it should be in Australian MMA, as Justin Van Heerden went off and took some chances and fought some new guys, and then come back over to Eternal MMA, so we can get this great matchup. But what I like about storylines is, Rod Costa, I think he's 8-7. He knows he's not getting a shot at the UFC. Justin Van Heerden has probably sort of missed out. He probably kind of has to really, really rebuild in terms of getting another shot at getting into the UFC. And it sucks because I think both of those guys really do deserve a shot. If I'm being blatantly honest, and I have to be, I don't think they ever will. And I hope that lights a fire in both of them and keeps it burning. But the irony of that, we get to see two men who are almost like outcasted from the UFC fight in front of the UFC brass at Eternal MMA 87 UFC weekend. I mean, let's say one of them sparks the other. You never know. And everyone becomes a victim in the moment and everyone falls in love in the arena. And I think when you see these boys live, you're going to understand just how good they are because on TV, it just doesn't do it justice until you watch Justin and Rod in real time. The lead up is going to single-handedly keep my channel afloat because even if those boys aren't talking shit, and I really don't know what we're going to get with them, especially when we have our split interview, our little virtual press conference, if you will. Even when they're respectful, they're very honest and they shoot from the hip. And I know that they have strong feelings about each other and each other's skill set. Even if it is super respectful, it's going to be more entertaining than other people talking shit. So definitely tune into that, and just everything that Eternal puts out in the lead up to that fight will be magical. So we always pick like a little X factor heading into fights of the sleeper fights to watch type thing, and that's got to be one of the better non-title fights we will see. Of course, mentioned Justin Van Heerden unfortunately losing his belt, Rod Costa losing his belt virtually the same time, I've never seen a trilogy make more sense. I just feel that both these boys coming together angry because they lost their belts and they have to take it out on each other, on a man that they've beaten and a man that's beaten them. I think it's just written perfectly. Shout out to whoever matched this up. We'll find out exactly kind of who put their hand up first, or if the great Cam O'Neill, Ben Vick has put it together at Eternal MMA first. That'd be very interesting to see how that came about. But not only is this just an ad for tomorrow's press conference, or whenever you're watching this, it'll be at the end of this YouTube video, or you can find it on Spotify on Australian MMA. But it's a great fight. It really, really is. I might do this a little bit more often. You guys let me know. I'm sure you will. If you want to see more of these, just super excited for this fight. Don't want to take up any more of your time. But also, while I've got you, stick around for this video. Did you enjoy that video? We've got hype packages that we can customize just for you, for all your needs, whether you're a fighter, coach, promoter, or gym. It doesn't matter. AustralianMMA.com.au. Visit there now for your free 15-minute consultation. I'll see you there.